If you're the kind of man that likes to roll his balls over a table, you should be playing Dragon's Fury. Dragon's Fury is an action pinball game. On the surface, that doesn't sound too great, but when you peel back the layers, you quickly discover you're playing one of the most fun Sega Mega Drive games out there. With fantasy-style graphics, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine that this is the kind of pinball game that Conan the Barbarian would be playing. Filled with dragons, skeletons and ghouls, you are tasked with destroying the enemy using nothing but your balls. One thing I found with 90s pinball video games is they never seem to get the weight of the ball right, either feeling a little too floaty or far too heavy, which just leads to sinking your balls faster than a German porn star. Dragon's Fury has found the middle ground. While still being fast, you never really feel cheated when you sink a ball. Frustrated, yeah. Cheated, no. The table is suitably cluttered. At first, it can be quite overwhelming, but after a game or two, you tend to get into the swing of things. The main table is split into 3 sections, all hosting a big enemy or two, which send out smaller enemies to, quite frankly, get in the way of your balls, sending them pinging around at an alarming rate. At times this can get a bit frantic, but again it never feels cheap. It feels more like the lack of skill rather than cheap mechanics. Ideally, you want to get your ball onto the top section of the main table. This offers the most bonuses and points to be grabbed. It's a shame that this section is the most boring and the ball kind of gets trapped, bouncing from bonus to bonus with very little user input. I managed to make myself a cup of tea while the ball was bouncing around in this section. If you meet certain criteria on the table, you open up holes for you to slam your balls into. If you achieve this, you are transported to a much smaller bonus table featuring a boss character, a 5-headed dragon, or 3 floaty plant pot things, are just a couple of examples. These tend to be difficult due to the lack of space. Your ball flies back at your flippers very quickly, giving you almost no chance to react. Add to this fireballs and skeleton hordes, it can be really difficult to even hit the boss character. If you sink a ball here, you're transported back to the main table. You don't lose a life, but you have to meet the requirements again to get back to the bonus stage. I don't particularly mind this. Normally it's my fault the ball sinks anyway. I can't leave this review without mentioning the graphics and the sounds. Visually, this is a stunning game. They have managed to cram so much stuff on the screen at once, it's amazing there isn't any slowdown. At times, it seems the table and characters are a little too detailed, and to an onlooker it can be quite confusing, but I never had this problem whilst playing myself. I guess playing the game, you tend to ignore most things that aren't in the radius of your ball. The music is fantastic. It's not very memorable or catchy like most Mega Drive games, but it really rocks. This is one of those games you pop in for 5 minutes of play, and the next time you check your watch you've been playing for hours on end. I just can't get enough of it. Getting hold of this game can be quite tricky. There are plenty of copies in circulation, but they tend to sell for a bit more than average. I picked my copy up for £7, which is a bargain really. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, click like and subscribe. And remember, get all your official gaming merchandise at menandgames.com.